Hey, cheers, 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 everybody. Southern VT. So I know a lot of you guys know what this is. You're thinking, bone dish. Some might call it a salad dish. They're usually not worth a whole ton of money. Anywhere is probably like a $5 bill to say $20 to you might find something more unique like $50, maybe $100, depending on how unique and rare. But you're more apt to find the $5 to $20 range. Just some basic average ones. But let's get into this a little bit. So these are porcelain bone dishes. This is actually Bohemian porcelain here. Very, very high end, sought after type of porcelain. Now, what we're getting for marks on here, okay, we got an SNB with a little squiggly underneath. Now, that's going to be for the Schwalb Brothers company, European company, back early, late 1800s, say. They're an 1800s company. So that puts this dish pre-1900s, probably 1880s or so, 1890s. Now, the other mark on here is going to be the artist mark. And it could be a combination. It could be artist and maybe their workstation if these were done in-house at a factory. Maybe it's a mark, some sort of a mark from like say like a private artist that's doing studio work that just buys the blanks. They had in-house artists, so this could be, say, like the letter for their name and N for their workstation. It looks to me to be like DN or N over D. So with that being said, we're gonna look at the other side. That's what it's all about right here. So like I was saying, pre-1900s. Okay, so during that time, European porcelain and pottery was going through like big changes. Japanese art was a big influence on some of the changes. It was just things were becoming different. They were moving away from the old stuffy style, same similar patterns, and they wanted something new. So they started doing a lot of more aesthetic movement, Japanese style artwork, nature themed stuff. Natural geometry, I guess you could kind of put in there. So what we're going to see on the other side, give you guys I've given you a few hints already, like the natural geometry, nature. Today it would be kind of more, well, that's Halloween themed or spooky themed, if that gives you a hint. But anyhow, all right, we got to flip it over because this is such an awesome bone dish. A piece I've had with me now for just a little bit. I bought this just recently, actually, probably within the last couple of years. And it's just a piece I enjoyed just from what's on the other side. Let's look, guys. Look at that. 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 Is that awesome or what? Violets and spider webs. So I don't know if maybe violets and cobweb pattern would be what you kind of call it, or violets and spider web. But it's got the gold edge and just how they made it like kind of drip, get that drip look to it. And somebody took really good care of this. The gold is in really good shape. There's a little bit on the edges here that's worn off a little bit, but that is so minor. But what, just such an awesome piece. Pre-1900s. Look at the fly. That's a fly in the center. Or maybe it might be a bee. I don't know. I think it's a little bit yellowish there. I'll have to look at it better with my scope. I think they hit it with just a little tiny bit of color, but just such an awesome piece. Now this piece here is going to be like one of your more sought after bone dishes for sure. This wouldn't just be in, say, like a porcelain collector's thoughts. You would have people that were into like Gothic things, Halloween themed. Like this could be in so many different categories, and could be such a great seller for sure. I would assume this would be like the $50 to $100 range, leaning more towards the 100. just given the fact of how good a condition it's in. No chips, no like little flea bites, and the wear on the gold is so minor. So minor. Just a couple little spots on the edges here in a couple little areas. But yeah, just a wonderful, beautiful piece. So to go over it again here right quick, we got the Schwalb Brothers mark, SNB, with a little squiggly underneath. We've got a D over N or N over D, and where I'm thinking that's the artist's initials. Doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be one of their initials and say a workstation number or letter. It could have been done in-house there at the factory, or it could be a private artist. If anybody has any information or seen this pattern, I've never ever seen one of these. Never in my, God, what am I, like 35 years now of doing this? I've never seen or come across one of these personally. So just a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful piece. But like I was saying, anybody has any information, feel free to put it down in the comments. And or if I'm off on something, I could be totally wrong too. So, I mean, this is just information that I've kind of gathered over the years, and I feel confident in what I'm saying, or I wouldn't be spreading it to you guys or showing you. But if somebody has anything to add to it or highlight, or I've said something kind of a little off, let me know down in the comments. I'd definitely love to chat with you. But yeah, the violets, purple violets and cobweb theme with an insect in the center. Awesome piece. Thank you guys for checking this out. Peace and love. Southern VT out.